community really tackled sustainable development in a strategic manner, then all the good work that they do in terms of human rights and consumer relationships and whatever will be for now, because in the long term, they'll all be undermined by the fundamental unsustainability. They'll all be going to be fighting amongst themselves rather than working towards the sustainable society which we're trying to promote. So what we've done is try and take key parts of the FSSD, make them understandable and relevant to this document. And what we've done is try and simplify it as much as possible. There are only a few key things that we've changed, but we've made them very strong with relationship to sustainable development. So hopefully it'll be enough to actually get them to think about, you know, where we're coming from and understand sustainable development from a more fundamental position. So the modifications include the fact that, as Anastasia pointed out, we need to change definitions. So what we did was change the definition by adding one word, or changing one word and to within. It completely changed the document. And as I said, and as Neil pointed out, that by looking at the diagram, we've got to look at a diagrammatic scheme of this. We've got to illustrate that there's no difference, there's no separation, that society and organisations really depend on the environment, and just by changing that one word, hopefully that reinforces that. And it also reinforces the fact that we need a sustainable society. That's our goal. Also, we've got modifications in terms of social responsibility and sustainable development and how they relate. At the moment, there's the concept of sustainable development as Brundtland describes it, which is more, human needs-based and an anthropocentric view. However, we've really got to look at what are the concepts of sustainable society and clarify how that term can relate to an organisation's sustainability. And by doing that, what we do is to bring in the concepts of defining sustainability using the systems principles, which are obviously a very strong way that, of integrating sustainability that can't really be argued against. And this is a very good point. We need to have a position where people can't argue against our positions, and I think that we've come to that. So we have this diagram which illustrates exactly what Neil said, that there is that relationship and we can't get away from that. So, other recommendations are that we don't need to change some certain parts. We've tried to modify one part of the definitions and change some of the introduction, and this is a key sector, which is the environmental section, obviously identifying that we've got systems principles, which we all know and love, and there are certain environmental issues that relate extremely closely, so we're not changing anything really. All we're doing is giving them a bit more of a systematic understanding of the environment and how to make improvements. There is another fourth environmental issue, because you can see there's something missing, number 3, and that's climate change and adaptation and mitigation. And what we find, we understand is that that's the outcome of unsustainable practice. So again, what we're trying to do is to illustrate the fundamental and very easy adaptation that we can make by integrating sustainability and SSD within this document. What we know is that there is a huge potential for change. We've got fundamental changes that we'd like to put in place, and they're essential. If we're going to have a sustainable form of social responsibility, then we have to really look at systems principles. We have to look at a systematic way of understanding sustainability. But we also know it's going to be quite difficult, because there are lots of people out there that, they have their own positions that they want to protect. But we're going to try as hard as we can in the next month to engage the powers that be in whatever way we can. However, this is what, oh God. So you at work, and one of the key outcomes was that this is a quote that came from the surveys, that in the longer term, and if all sectors of society, private, public and civil, create a new paradigm based on sustainable development, CSR guidelines will be absorbed into organisational guidelines in the sustainable development way. CSR will have fulfilled its role when it becomes obsolete. Thank you. So the fact is that we're really working in the right direction, and that's pretty much all I've got to say. So thanks everybody for being here. Thank you guys for being part of a great piece of work. So thanks.